We heard from you and the polls, and we heard your latest thoughts. Next up, we have Resh Sidhu, who is the ECD at We Are Barbarian. He's going to be talking about raising the bar with courageous change and innovation. So delighted to see that the theme of the overall 2 days has been brought into someone's presentation. Resh, over to you.
Hey, thanks guys for having me. All right, let's get stuck in. 3 minutes is not enough time to be talking about this. So here's the thing, consumer behavior is changing so fast right now, and people have such an abundance of choice. Your product alone is not going to be enough to distinguish. And what we're finding is people are seeking a deeper connection with brands. They're seeking out brands that they have a shared belief and values with. And on the flip side of that, brands are looking to agencies that can help them navigate this kind of change in consumer behavior, not just because of COVID, because obviously COVID has fast-tracked the need for digital transformation. But brands are seeking streamlined partners who can really create meaningful connections and build trust with people. They're upended at the moment, and it's leaving them wondering what's next and who are the right partners. But here's the thing that I grapple with all the time. I believe agencies and creative work is getting stale. Some agencies are in danger of becoming obsolete, and we're at an inflection point because they're not evolving quick enough. There's a lack of diversity. It's full of dinosaurs, resistant to change. There's inefficiencies across the board, huge costs, slow to react, and you never sometimes even get great creative ideas out there. There's a lack of respect for this evolving consumer behavior where human connection is more important than just trying to sell. And we're simply adding to the noise and pollution in the ad world instead of creating real, valuable, creative work. So how do you raise the bar? Well, for me, you have to do it with courageous change and continuous innovation. And what that means is you have to look at your own teams. Start with yourself. Every creative has to become an agent of change, or we're going to face extinction. It's disrupt or be disrupted. And that means that we have to challenge the status quo. We have to do things differently. Just because they've been done this way for the past 20 or 40 years in the ad world doesn't mean that's right. In fact, it's time to shake it up. We have to break the rules. We need unconventional thinking and diversity. Those are the lifeblood of great ideas, and those ideas inspire change. And hey, I'm not going to kid around. That's not easy to do, right? Courageous change and great work, it comes from persistence. It comes from ingenuity, spirit, and courage, and bravery, not convenience, because convenience is essentially mediocrity. Lick the lollipop of mediocrity and you'll suck forever, right? We don't want to do that. So raising the bar means having an entrepreneurial attitude, embracing risk and seeing it as a new normal. And we have to begin to see opportunity in everything. And as you do, innovation becomes second nature. The best leaders know that innovation comes from multiple sources. So find different people with different points of views and different backgrounds. And when those people come together, you cannot fathom the ideas that they will deliver. And it's that mixture of different perspectives and different people that's going to change our industry. We have to create an environment where it's less talk and more innovation, where we put people's passion and heart and soul back into our work. And it's time to pivot and meet these ever-changing consumer and client needs with untamed creativity. In a time of infinite noise and finite customer attention, we have to strive to build the new status quo. So leave nothing unchanged in your pursuit to raise a creative bar. Courageous change and continuous innovation are the only way to do that.
Thank you, Resh. We ran over a bit, but I didn't want to kill your flow, so we have slightly shorter. Thank you so much.
3 minute timing is so difficult.
Yeah, 3 minutes is not a lot of time. Look, you delivered the presentation that I've always wanted a creative leader to deliver at MadFest, because too often we have people saying everything's fine, nothing's changed. I always like Niels Leonard's term about the fact that the fires are burning around us and yet we're not doing enough. So I love the provocative rally cry you've put out there. Why is there not other creative agency and creative leaders that are saying the same thing? Because I would argue that that is quite an unusual speech on a marketing conference stage.
It's not an unusual speech, and we need to hear it more. Why aren't we hearing it more? We've got to get more of these voices out there, and we've got to speak our truth. Because I think there may be a sense of fear that, you know, we want to paint this picture that everything is absolutely right, but it's not, because we're not changing fast enough. And you're seeing droves and droves of creatives leaving some of the most, you know, formidable and established agencies. Why? Why is that happening? You know, we've been talking about diversity and change in leadership, and we hold our brands' hands and we walk them through change and innovation, but yet we don't look inwards, do it within our own agencies. That, for me, is a huge reason why we have to have more of our creative leaders being open and talking about what we're seeing in the creative space and what needs to change. Because until we do that and grab it by the balls, nothing's going to change. And we're painting this fake picture, and it is fake, because everybody knows agencies are talking about diversity. It's all talk, but it's not enough action.
So how do we change that, Resh? How do we get more? We have a fruit salad of so many different cultures and ethnicities in our country, particularly in London, where most creatives are. So why do we have such pathetic numbers when it comes to BAME and women? What do we need to do differently, in your opinion, to attract those audiences in?
I think we have to honestly look at our leadership and executive teams and say, is this a reflection of the world out there? Is this a reflection of the type of kind of creatives and individuals that we want within our business? It's not just about gender neutrality. It's not just about 50-50. It goes beyond that. And you know what? It's getting boring. We've been talking about it for so long now. And certain people feel like they put out an email or they do a conference or they're part of something like this and they've talked about it and it's done and it's okay. But here's the thing. It's like, get past that. Put your money where your mouth is. Let's see that change. I want to see more women, people of color, elevated into leadership positions. So someone like me, who came from grassroots council estate girl and ended up being an ECD in New York, can say to those that are out there and people of color that you can do this, because there's people like myself and a multitude of other men and women that are paving the way from you, because finally our voices aren't being crushed, they're being heard.
Brilliant. Well, look, we ran over again, but that message needed to be heard. That message needed to be heard. I usually have the future is female sweatshirt on, but I don't have it today. So I very much agree with you. And I hope that others will listen and do something different, because we certainly need a different driver for change. So thank you so much for joining us, Resh. Apologies that we have to cut you off now, but thanks for a great speech.
No problem.